The Richardsons were the epitome of a perfect family. They lived in a quiet cul-de-sac in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Mark and Deborah, high school sweethearts, built a life filled with warmth and laughter. Mark, a loving husband and doting father, worked as an oil field supply supervisor. Deborah, the heart of the family, worked at a local hardware store. Together, they strived to provide for their children, Jacob and Jasmine. Jasmine, a beautiful and vivacious girl of 12, was the apple of her parents' eyes. Her brother Jacob, 2 years her senior, was her protector and confidant. To the outside world, the Richardsons were a portrait of bliss, their life a tapestry woven with love and happiness. Little did they know, a storm was brewing on the horizon, threatening to shatter their idyllic existence. Mark and Deborah had a past they weren't proud of. Years before they built their picture-perfect life, they battled their own demons. Addiction had cast a long shadow on their lives, threatening to consume them entirely, but they fought back, clinging to each other for strength and solace. They emerged from the darkness, scarred but not broken. Their love story was one of redemption, a testament to their resilience and unwavering commitment. Their past became a reminder of their strength, a silent vow to protect their children from the darkness they had conquered. However, the scars of addiction run deep. The whispers of their past lingered like ghosts, haunting the corners of their minds. They vowed to shield their children from this darkness, to create a haven where their past would never touch them. At 12, Jasmine was a typical preteen. She loved dancing, music, and spending time with her friends. Her infectious laughter and vibrant personality lit up every room she entered. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. Adolescence, with its confusing emotions and relentless peer pressure, began to chip away at her innocence. The once bubbly and carefree Jasmine started to withdraw. Her grades plummeted, and her interest in her favorite activities waned. She became increasingly rebellious, challenging her parents' authority at every turn. Concerned, Mark and Deborah tried to reach out to their daughter. They attributed her behavior to teenage angst, hoping it was just a passing phase. Little did they know, a sinister force had entered their daughter's life, fueling her rebellion and leading her down a dangerous path. Enter Jeremy Steinke, a 23-year-old who frequented the same internet chat rooms as Jasmine. He was everything Jasmine thought she wanted: rebellious, mysterious, and seemingly mature. He listened to her problems, fueled her anger towards her parents, and offered her an escape from the suffocating reality of her home life. Jeremy, with his piercing gaze and brooding demeanor, had a knack for preying on vulnerable young girls. He used flattery and manipulation to gain their trust, weaving a web of deceit that was hard to escape. He painted himself as a misunderstood soul, a victim of societal judgment, and Jasmine, blinded by her infatuation, believed him. He encouraged her rebellion, validating her anger towards her parents. He promised her freedom, adventure, and a love that knew no bounds. Jasmine, starved for attention and validation, clung to his every word. What Jasmine didn't realize was that Jeremy was dangerous. The Richardson household became a battleground. Gone were the days of laughter and warmth. In their place were heated arguments, slammed doors, and a palpable tension that hung heavy in the air. Jasmine, fueled by Jeremy's poisonous influence, became increasingly defiant, challenging her parents' every rule. Mark and Deborah were at their wits' end. They tried everything they could think of to reach their daughter. They grounded her, confiscated her phone, and even tried cutting off her internet access. But Jasmine was always one step ahead, finding ways to circumvent their restrictions and connect with Jeremy. The once united family was now fractured. Jacob, caught in the crossfire, retreated further into himself, his once close bond with his sister shattered. At their wits' end, Mark and Deborah decided to stage an intervention. They gathered their closest friends and family, hoping that a united front would help Jasmine see the error of her ways. "Deborah! Jasmine, honey, we love you so much," Deborah sobbed, her voice thick with worry. "We just want what's best for you. This boy, Jeremy, he's not good for you. He's controlling you, isolating you from everyone who cares about you. Mark, he's too old for you, Jasmine. He's taking advantage of you. Don't you see that?" But Jasmine refused to listen. "Jasmine, you don't understand anything," she screamed, her voice raw with fury. "Jeremy is the only one who gets me." desperate times call for desperate measures. Mark and Deborah, at their wits' end, considered involving the authorities. They knew that Jeremy was bad news, and they feared for their daughter's safety. But they hesitated. They were afraid of pushing Jasmine further away, of driving her deeper into Jeremy's clutches. They clung to the hope that they could reason with Jasmine, that they could make her see the danger she was in. They believed that love conquers all, that their bond was strong enough to overcome even the most insidious of influences. They decided to give Jasmine one more chance, one last opportunity to come to her senses. "Jasmine," Deborah pleaded, her eyes filled with tears, "we know you're angry with us, but we're begging you to listen. Jeremy is not the man you think he is." On the night of April 23rd, 2006, the unthinkable happened. The Richardson family home, once a sanctuary of love and laughter, was transformed into a scene of unimaginable horror. The peace of the quiet cul-de-sac was shattered by the deafening roar of police sirens and the heart-wrenching wails of grief. The details of that horrific night would later emerge, painting a gruesome picture of betrayal, rage, and unimaginable loss. Jeremy Steinke, fueled by a deadly cocktail of obsession and bloodlust, had made good on his dark promises, turning Jasmine's fantasy world into a real-life nightmare. The Richardson family, their lives forever changed, was left to pick up the pieces of their shattered dreams. Their home, once filled with warmth and laughter, now stood as a chilling reminder of the evil that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. The aftermath of the tragedy was a maelstrom of grief, anger, and blame. The Richardson family, torn apart by the horrific events of that night, struggled to navigate their new reality. Mark and Deborah, their hearts shattered beyond repair, were left to face a future devoid of their beloved children. The pain of their loss was a constant ache, a gaping wound that refused to heal. They grappled with guilt and regret, questioning their every decision, wondering if they could have done anything to prevent the tragedy. Jacob, his childhood abruptly stolen, faced the daunting task of rebuilding his life without his sister and the parents he once knew. The trauma of that night left an indelible mark on his soul, casting a long shadow over his future. The community, shaken to its core, rallied around the grieving family, offering condolences and support. In the wake of the Richardson family tragedy, the community was left grappling with a profound sense of loss and a burning question: how could this have happened? Jasmine's drastic transformation, her rebellious behavior, and her infatuation with an older man were all red flags that should have raised alarm bells. But somewhere along the way, these warning signs were missed or dismissed, culminating in a horrific tragedy that shattered a family and a community. The Richardson family's story serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilant parenting and early intervention. It highlights the need for open communication between parents and children, the dangers of online predators, and the devastating consequences of unchecked obsession. The lessons learned from the Richardson family tragedy, as painful as they may be, have the power to save lives and prevent future tragedies.